Hello everybody and welcome back to Pleasantview. Today we are playing the Dreamers and it is just about 5 a.m. I fully expect to get another Ross in this household, but we will see. I did make some changes to that and I will actually be adding more Ross scenarios to our list. There are currently 135. I have written 15 more, so we will be at 150 and I'm going to put those in hopefully next week when I have some time to focus on my files. So Darren, in our very last episode where we played the Goths, got engaged to Cassandra. Let's look at his memories. Right there, got engaged to Cassandra. So we did get a Ross, fortune aspiration. Give a sim a primary or secondary aspiration of fortune. Oh, there are a lot of things we can do with this. All right, hold on. I have to pause the game because my cat is not letting me record. Okay, so now that my cat is a little bit more settled, hopefully I can do what I was trying to do. I forgot where we were. Oh yes, fortune aspiration. What I had been saying was that Darren Dreamer got engaged to Cassandra in the last episode. He has 3 bolts with her. And now the thing is, Dirk is already a primary fortune sim. So we can't give him a primary or a secondary fortune, so it is going to be Darren. So Darren is currently a knowledge sim with a secondary aspiration of family. So I want to keep it in the realm of those 3 aspirations. We can make him a knowledge primary and a fortune secondary, a fortune primary and a knowledge secondary, or we can mix family. So he can be a fortune family or a family fortune. So Darren is 19 days away from becoming an elder. He's just over halfway done with his adult life stage. He has all of these bills in the entryway piling up. He owes a ton of money. Dirk is working a part-time job trying to save for college, and then he went to this huge extravagant Mortimer and Dina wedding. He saw the Goth Manor. He saw everything that Cassandra is living and how she wants to be with him. And I think that sparked something in him. He doesn't want to be a struggling artist anymore. He loves his art and he loves Cassandra, but he also loves his son and he wants to give him the best of everything. He wants him to go to college. He wants him to be successful and he doesn't want him to have to struggle like he does. I am so sorry about that. My cat would just not let me record no matter what I did, so I had to stop everything and deal with her. Both of my cats are very needy. It's one of the reasons I have objects to keep them entertained on my throne wish list because I really do need to sort of distract them so that I can be at my computer long enough to record and do things. Very active, very needy, but I love them oh so much. So where were we? Back to Darren. So I think I'm actually gonna roll and see what the randomizer says. I will show you guys that in a minute. Okay, so I have put all 4 options available here. So he can be primary fortune, secondary family, primary fortune, secondary knowledge, primary knowledge, secondary fortune, or primary family, secondary fortune. Let's see what the wheel has to say for Darren Dreamer. Primary knowledge, secondary fortune it is. I think that in the second half of his adulthood, he's focusing more on Dirk now that he sees how hard Dirk is working to build that future for himself. Even though he was previously more focused on building a family, I think that now he saw what the Goths had and he knows what Cassandra can bring to the table in terms of money, and he's a little bit more interested in bringing money into this household to provide a good future for Dirk. I think that's what he wants, to provide a future for his son. Now, the last time that we played this household, we locked in for Darren to be friends with Nina because he really wanted to do that. So we still have that locked in. And he does not have to work today. He only works on Wednesdays. So he also wants to improve his creativity, gain a skill point, and be friends with John. Ooh, John Burb, 12/12. Okay. And then Dirk still wants to gain a creativity, earn some money, get into private school, and go to work. But it is a school day. Dirk does have to go to work today at 3 p.m. and he needs a creativity to get promoted. But what we're actually going to do is have him get ready for school by taking care of some of his needs. We want him to go to school in a good mood. And then Darren, we are going to have you work on some of your paintings today and maybe be friends with Nina. So when his social is low, we will have him call up Nina or John. Neither of them, actually John does work today. It's Tuesday at the school. John goes to work today, but Nina does not. So we're going to work on Darren's creativity and be friends with Nina, but specifically his creativity so that he can pay some of these bills, because until he and Cassandra get married, he's not getting access to any of her money. And so actually now that he's up, we can change his secondary aspiration. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's get rid of that and let's use your perks again. So you are now going to be secondary fortune. We're going to give you this whole tree again, the knowledge tree. You still have 3 more perks. So we could do skilled negotiator, which doesn't impact you so much, but the slower need decay and the financial advice for cash would be very useful for you. Or we could focus on your needs tree. Let's actually just give you the fortune tree. I mean, we got a Ross roll for the fortune aspiration as primary or secondary, so let's just go ahead and give him that. So now I want you to take care of some of your needs and then you're going to work on your creativity. So why don't you use the restroom? You want to learn how to make cold cereal, so have breakfast cold cereal. And then Dirk, you are serving breakfast cold cereal. Well, you're already in the middle of it, so I'm not going to stop you. Oh, the paper boy is getting his traits. Inappropriate, eco-friendly, brave, and loves the outdoors. Interesting. Look at these bills are turning yellow and red. Alright, we gotta work on that. 321, 255, 268. Alright, they're gonna have some cereal for breakfast. And then Darren's gonna try to earn some cash, and Dirk is gonna go off to school. School bus is gonna be here in just a minute. I love his Benny slippers. Dirk, you could have at least finished your cereal. Look at his engagement ring, his blue stone. Alright, so Darren, you're gonna finish his bowl when you're done, and then put these away. And after you do that, I want you to at least pay some of the bills with the money that you have. I can't believe your bills. The bills that are in here were what, 800? Oh, the new bills haven't even come yet. 800 is what everything else combined is. He's gonna get more bills today. Oof. Alright, we'll pay those and then continue painting. We're gonna pay the old bills first. I was hoping that Darren might roll the want to get married to Cassandra so that we could do that today. But if he doesn't roll the want, I'm not sure I'm gonna do it because he really needs to focus on his cash. And I do want to focus a little bit on Dirk. Just painting in my robe. Why not? Oh, the bills are coming. The bills are coming and Brandy's walking by. Oh boy. See, now look, he wants to buy a painting costing at least 1,000 because he's got secondary fortune. I wonder if changing his secondary aspiration will affect the number of bolts that he has with Cassandra. He still has 3 bolts, so even if it goes down, I can't imagine it's gonna go all the way down. Oh, there's Dawn walking by. Hey Dawn, what you doing? Shouldn't you be at work? Oh no, it's Tuesday, it's your day off, never mind. Alright, well Darren, you just keep painting. Hopefully you can finish this one today. That would be great, so we could sell it. I don't know how much it'll sell for. I mean, you have pretty good creativity. You have 8 creativity points, so hopefully we can sell this one today. It's coming along really well. I think it's nice. Nice and pretty. Eureka! The nuances of creativity skill are suddenly much clearer to me. So he did get his 9th creativity skill point. Awesome. That got him some nice aspiration points. He's currently in platinum. And now he also wants to buy a sculpture. Look at his fears. Sell a pulp novel, lose a skill point, and a fire. Yep, that makes sense. I'd be scared of all those things too. The carpool for Dirk will arrive in about an hour. Dirk is just getting home from school. Dirk has no homework today. Okay, that helps. Let's get the mail, because there's bills in there. I want to see how much they are. And then let's see if maybe we can gain a creativity skill for you before you go off to work, and then you can make a little bit more money and get promoted. Don, you're walking by again. Did you hear that Darren is engaged to your ex-fiance, and so now you're trying to walk by, figure it all out, see what she sees in him? All right, these bills are $732. Oof. Painful. They only have 14 simoleons. Oh, good. Darren finished his painting. Oh my gosh, I almost don't want to sell it. It's so pretty. Sell for 247. Okay, well that'll be something. Okay, well you've been painting all day, so take a little break. Let's take a bath. And then why don't you come downstairs, tidy up a little bit, and then call Nina, because you want to be friends with her. So let's call her and then get something to eat. You have leftovers, right? Yeah, get some leftovers. Oh, there's Dirk's carpool. How close are you to your next skill point? I don't think you're close enough that you can get it before you have to catch the carpool, but let's see. I'll send you downstairs at about 2:30. I don't think you're going to get your skill point before then, though. We will see. Oh, he's so close, he's so close, he's so close. Yes, you got your skill point. Okay, now you can go to work. It's 2:30 and you want to get promoted. We're locking that in. He also wants to buy a florist bench. Honey, you can't afford that. I mean, I guess when you get your money, we can see if you want that more than you want to save for college. So Dirk is off to work and he will hopefully get promoted today. He has all the skill points and friends that he needs, but he is only halfway up his bar. So hopefully he can get promoted today. That would be awesome. And then he wants to reach creativity level 2, buy a florist bench, get into private school, and get a promotion. But while Dirk is at work, we're going to be with Darren. So Darren, we're just going to get his needs up a little bit, and then we'll probably send him to go painting again. So let's get your social up. Let's call Nina and just talk to her. You want to be friends with her. You're at 39 over 29. I can't believe you rejected her. She is the Nina Caliente. Nina's one of my favorite Sims, so I take personal offense to that, but maybe I shouldn't. So just spend some time talking to her. She likes sports. That's a good topic. Oh, yes, you're friends with her. That means Nina also got her want fulfilled for being friends with him. Okay, well, focus on that. And then you're going to get some cereal. And then you're going to use the restroom. And then how much money do we have? 261. Do we have enough to pay any of these bills? Yeah, we can pay this 255. We'll pay this one. I want to pay these bills first before I pay off this big one, because the repo man will come if the bills too many turn red. And this one we just got today. It's more important in The Sims. Maybe not in real life, I don't, it depends. But in The Sims, it's more important to pay off the older bills. Okay, your social's full. You can say bye to Nina. And then you want to learn lifelong happiness. Oh, I love that. But you also want to maximize the creativity skill. Those are both great wants, but unfortunately, we can only lock in one of them. Let's lock in maximize the creativity skill, because that's what we're going to be focusing on first to make you some money, is improving your creativity in painting. All right, so he's going to eat a leftover bowl of cereal, which is disgusting. Then you're going to use the restroom, pay those bills, and then we're going to go upstairs and you're actually going to start a new painting, which you're probably not going to finish today, but I want you to at least start it because you need to make some money. He does go to work tomorrow on Wednesday, so on Wednesday he will earn 310 simoleons for sure. I'm surprised he's not rolling any wants for Cassandra, considering they just got engaged. Alright, is there anything else I need you to do? Oh, you should probably put the dirty laundry in your inventory in the hamper. We can do that later. Actually, let's do that. I'm going to cancel the painting. and we will add all piles of dirty laundry, and then we'll paint some more. You may need to go to the laundromat in the next day or two. We'll have to see how many dirty piles of laundry you have. There's only 2 Sims in this household, so they're not generating as much as like a busy household would. Oh, look, there's Dina Goth. She's no longer Dina Caliente, she's Dina Goth. She's coming by. You just went to her wedding. It was very nice. A very nice wedding. If you and Cassandra get married, Dina will be your mother-in-law. You guys don't have enough money to buy a washing machine and a dry rack or a drying machine, so you're gonna have to go to the laundromat. You don't have enough money for that even. You only have 6 simoleons right now. There's Dirk. I hear him coming home. Did you get promoted? Yes! Awesome job, Dirk. Dirk has been promoted to Foreman level 3. Finally in charge of more than just yourself, you've made Foreman of the construction team. Your initiative has been noticed. Now put a little logic behind that mechanical knowledge of yours and someone might actually mistake you for an architect. Dirk works from 3 to 6 p.m. starting immediately. He brought home 166 and got a bonus of 415. You've worked hard and now you've reached the top of the architecture career track. Congratulations. And you also have an A+. That means Dirk is an overachiever, so he can get a scholarship for that. I'm gonna wait to see if he rolls the want to get a scholarship, because once he does, then we would get some aspiration points for applying for it. And he has plenty of time before he goes off to college. He's got 4 days, 5 days until he ages up. What are you gonna go do? Lounge? You deserve it, buddy. Lounge. All right, let's put your money into your college fund. So we are going to add to college fund in hundreds, 500. Normally I would add 600, I'd round up, but they don't have extra money, so he's only getting to keep 500 of the money he just brought home. Normally I would round up for the children and teens, but oh well. All right, why don't you also get some leftover. Let's see, get leftovers. You can have some leftover cereal also. Oh, that's disgusting. And then why don't you take a shower? You were at a construction site all day. And then let's see, creativity level 2. You want to reach creativity level 2. You want to buy a florist bench. You want to get into private school. And you would like to earn 1,000 simoleons. So our total bill amount is 1,053. I might have him do some financial consulting. Did we give him that perk? Oh, he has 1 new perk. So now we can give him financial advice for cash. So we're going to give him that one so that he can start working on that. Ooh, Darren just reached the top of the creativity. He got the nuances of creativity skill are much clearer to me. So he got his 10th point. That's awesome. All right, now, because he's fortune secondary, of course, he wants to buy a sculpture costing a bunch of money he doesn't have, buy a painting costing a bunch of money he doesn't have, buy a dining chair costing a bunch of money he doesn't have, and stargaze with the telescope. I would not be opposed to him stargazing with the telescope. Maybe he'll even get some visitors. But first, you keep working on that. It's only 8 p.m. And then Dirk, after you take your shower, clean up these bowls, and then come over here. And then I want you to give some financial consulting. I just want to see if we can get their household funds over 100, because 81 simoleons of these Dirk brought home today. So if we can get this over 100, I would like to add that to his college savings. Is that Darlene I hear? Yep, there's Darlene. She is an angry, angry ghost. All right, well, you know what? We can also move her to the cemetery. I don't really like to just send the grave. I like my Sims to take the grave there. But we'll have to see if they actually have time to do that. All right, so Dirk, you are going to... Which should we lock in for him? Creativity? I think we're going to lock in earn 1,000 simoleons. That's what he really wants to do. And he does not work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday and he does not work. So he's actually going to take a much earned day off. However, he would probably prefer to just earn some money. If you guys watched my 20th anniversary Sims 2 video, you probably saw some shots very similar to this. I did take some shots here in Pleasantview and then exited without saving, and I had Dirk at his computer. He wasn't doing this because he didn't have the perk, but it looks very similar. Look at him all serious. All right, now if I cancel, will you get paid? Yes, 71 simoleons. So add to college fund in hundreds, 100. Actually, another 50 of this is already yours too, but that actually gave him that fulfilled his want to earn 1,000 simoleons. He wants to reach creativity level 2 and he needs some fun. So I'm actually gonna have him come up here and work on his painting for a little bit before he has to go to bed. He had no homework today. So because he had no homework today, I don't need to have him do that. He already has an A+, he had no homework. He went to work, he's a level 3, he doesn't need any skills for his job. So Dirk is, Dirk's doing awesome. We could start to work on his lifetime want a little bit if we wanted to repair objects, but he's doing great. So I think right now, Dirk really wants to go to college. I think he's just trying to save for college. That's his priority at this point, because his father is certainly not going to be able to help him out, not with all these bills piling up. We could also invite over the headmaster to try to get Dirk into private school. Maybe we will do that tomorrow since he doesn't have to work. He's had to work, he worked yesterday on Monday and he worked today on Tuesday, but since he doesn't have to work tomorrow on Wednesday, we could invite the headmaster over. And Darren gets home from work at 3, so that would give them plenty of time to prepare. Neither of them has any cooking skill points, so it would be an uphill battle because there's nowhere in town for them to purchase food. Nobody runs a takeout food area, which is something some of our foodie sims might want to start doing, right? But since they can't go anywhere to buy food to serve and they don't have any cooking skill points, they can't impress the headmaster that way. Now they do have a fairly nicely decorated home. You'll notice there's plenty of artwork on the walls. If you look at their environment score, it's nice and in the green. To pay some of these bills, I could always sell some of these objects that they don't use, like this second desk, right? They have a desk over here, they have a desk over here. There's a desk in Darren's room with a computer, and then there's a desk in Dirk's room with a computer. So I don't know that we need 4 desks for 2 people. We could sell some of these if these bills get a little bit too far out of hand. I want to see if Darren can finish this painting today, because if Darren can finish this painting tonight, then we can sell it and see if we can pay off at least that last pile of old bills. I don't know if we'll be able to, but we can try. He does want to stargaze with the telescope, even though his energy bar is tanked. So after he finishes this, I might just have him stargaze until he falls over. Just see if I can get him to stargaze for, a couple of hours before he goes to bed. Now I do have a mod in my game, surprise, surprise, that getting abducted by aliens does not 100% lead to pregnancy. So just if he does get abducted, or if anybody gets abducted by aliens, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to return pregnant. I also have a mod so that male and female sims will have a chance of being pregnant when abducted by aliens. So Dirk gained his creativity skill point. He now has the want for a 3rd creativity skill point, but I'm going to have him stop painting because it is after 12 o'clock and his energy is... Oh wait, is that yours? Did you finish? Oh no, that's Darren's. Right, so Dirk, why don't you come downstairs and go to bed, because you need to get a good night's sleep if you're going to go to school tomorrow. And then Darren, oh, look at that painting. It's so cute. I would love to hang it on the wall, but you need the money. Sell for 600. That's going to be super useful. 600 simoleons. That's awesome. Okay, but let's see. Let's have you stargaze and see if I can get you to stargaze for a little bit. He may just want to go to bed because his energy is already so low, but let's see. Stargazing with Darlene in the background. I don't know half as many people in real life that actually stargaze as the Sims lead you to believe people stargaze. Oh my goodness. So Darren got his want fulfilled for stargazing, and now he rolled 2 new wants. One is to earn 1,000 simoleons, but the other is to quit his job. He wants to quit his job. He's our visual arts teacher. He hasn't even gone to work yet. I don't want him to quit his job, but that's what he wants to do. You know what? You do have to go to work today. You're gonna go to work at least once. You can think about quitting after that. So why don't you go sleep in your pajamas because your energy's in the red. It's almost 2 a.m. and you do have to go to work. Your carpool will be here at 8 a.m. Darren. Well, you did make some good simoleons today and you got your creativity maxed out. That is awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next episode.